What's up, Godzilla fans? Godzilla54 here, and today I'm here to do a video, and today is my video of Jurassic World. So yeah, now my original video was actually kind of weird. It got deleted, and the quality wasn't good. I set it at 1080p. It wouldn't come out 1080p. It was actually me in front of the camera, so now I'm just gonna do it in front of the, or have pictures on the screen instead. So that's why it's a little bit late. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so the trailer was actually pretty good. It came out on the Super Bowl last night. I watched it on the Super Bowl, and I also watched it on the computer. So yeah, but basically, what the whole trailer is, it shows more than the last trailer. It's hard to believe because it's like a minute shorter. But yeah, it does show more, and I think it's more entertaining actually also, and it has some pretty interesting music I like in it. But yeah, so the trailer overall though, we got to see glimpses of the D-Rex, which was nice. Unfortunately, no T-Rex. And it is confirmed that they're, the Chris Pratt is training the Raptors, so I think that's pretty interesting too. I really like that. But yeah, we got to see some more iconic scenes that we've already seen before, and we got to see some scenes that were actually expanded upon. So I really like that about it too. So it's pretty cool overall, really. We got, like I said though, we got to see new dinosaurs that we haven't got to see on screen either, which is also really cool. And the CGI looks a little bit, bit more improved, which I actually really like. Also though, sorry about that, that was my phone. Also though, there's some pretty interesting stuff that Chris Pratt says. He says, these things, there's 20,000 people on the island, and they have nowhere to go. So it's this whole Disney World type crowd, basically stuck, vicious dinosaurs. I think that's interesting, more than just, 7 people on an island. I think that's interesting. Also the fact that, what do you call it? That the D-Rex is actually hunting for sport, that he says, yeah. And also he says that they're going at it with everything they got, so that means the Velociraptors, and we got to see the Velociraptor scene, which I thought was also really cool. But yeah, so that's my whole trailer review, basically. So I would give it a solid A, but now let's go and actually get into the trailer analysis. So yeah. So this first image I have is actually of the two kids in the gyrosphere, and as we can see, they are next to the Stegosaurus, Brachiosaurus and stuff like that. And you can see some Triceratops. I just thought it was interesting because, we've never seen the Triceratops, or actually we haven't seen the Triceratops, or, yeah, Triceratops. I thought I said Stegosaurus. But yeah, we've never seen the Triceratops on screen, so far. So yeah, it looks really cool. So, yeah. Now the next image we got is Chris Pratt doing this hand motion, and I think that it's just basically like something to tell the raptor stop, but it also, or like to recognize them, but also it's weird because like he has something in his hand. It's really small. I can't really tell exactly what it is, but it's something. I don't know. And this one, I really like this actually. It's Chris Pratt basically telling the raptors to stop because, they're going to attack somebody. But the CGI looks really good too, also. But I really like the raptors here, how they look, because they all have their own kind of distinct pattern. Like the one on the right is kind of greenish tealish and it's got spots. I really like the one in the center the best though. It looks the most vicious really. It's kind of more crouched over, but I really like that blue outlining on its back. I think it really looks good. And the other one right there on the left, it looks, good. Sort of similar to the one on the left, but it doesn't look as vicious, so yeah. Alright, and this next one is a bit more weird. Like, it's hard to tell what it is, but it looks like there's obviously something inside there. And this might actually be the containment area for the D-Rex, because we can see it's a really tall area. Also, it somewhat actually kind of resembles like the steel walls they have on the outside of the door, but I'm not real sure. It might be the raptor pen, like the new kind of newer improved raptor pen, because it also looks like it with the walls, actually I think it probably is the raptor pen. So yeah, I'm gonna put my money on that, but yeah, so it looks pretty cool. This next image we just get of the D-Rex, it's more of a kind of cool, kind of sneakish image, because he's kind of like stalking them, and we actually get to see the snake-looking eyes, which also look really cool. I like how it kind of reminds me of Clever Girl scene, so yeah. Then we get D'Onofrio here, and he's the bad guy who supposedly turns off the power and steals the DNA and stuff like that, kind of like Dennis Nedry. Now, I think that was a leak, it's not confirmed, but yeah. But basically, in the scene, Bryce Dallas Howard says, "Do you think it'll scare the kids?" And then he says, "It'll give nightmares adults." Yeah. That's basically it for that. Alright, and this one is of the scene we've seen before, but this is like a new image shot kind of thing. It just shows how big this D-Rex is. It really is huge. And you have Chris Pratt, you know, in the worker right there. And then, in this next image, we can see that they're running away from it. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger as it gets closer, which is kind of creepy. And the worker has a weird face on him. And then the worker dies as Chris Pratt gets away. So yeah. And this one is just Chris Pratt looking a little more tense. I really like it though because it just kind of reminds me of the first Jurassic Park. So yeah. Alright, and like I said though, it's the same shot from the previous picture, but it really does remind me of Jurassic Park 1 because as we can see, the D-Rex is there. And it really reminds me of the part with Tim and Lex, you know, where they had to stay still when the T-Rex was attacking. So yeah, maybe the D-Rex will take somewhat the T-Rex's spot. And this is our first look at the animatronic, and I'm gonna admit, it doesn't look that great. The first ones and the second ones, you know, in the first and second movie looked better. This looks better in the third movie's animatronic, so this still looks somewhat detailed. It just looks like it would be too stiff and rigid to move that much. But I also like the blue eye with it. But this is the part when he says, you know, the D-Rex killing for sport, which I think is cool. Alright, and this is just Chris Pratt basically with a bunch of soldiers, and he's just, with his cool shotgun looking thing, he's just getting ready for something. And I really like this image actually, because it reminds me a lot of the first movie, and I think it is the same area actually, where they enter Jurassic Park in the engine helicopter. Now this is Maserati, I think. But yeah, it looks really cool. I really like it. The reminiscence. And then this one could be the Carnotaurus, but I do believe it is the D-Rex, because it looks a little too whitish, doesn't look that kind of reddish thing that I'm guessing they would go with, because that's like the most popular color. And then he just kind of fades off into the forest, though. And also, I don't think they would really want a minigun for the Carnotaurus, because it wouldn't cause that much trouble. If you've seen the leaked images also of the D-Rex, then it does look a lot like it in the head area. But yeah, it looks really cool. I really like how we get our first full body kind of glimpse of him. And then we get this shot, basically, where the D-Rex is about to attack this guy. Now, I don't know who exactly the guy is, but he's basically a goner. The D-Rex just looks insane, though. Its mouth is so huge. Look at that. Alright. And these are just basically pterodons, and maybe dimorphodons, it's hard to tell. I don't know if they come at the same time, but coming to the people through the mountains, it's just a really cool, kind of beautiful shot, actually. And this is the dimorphodons, and they're basically like piranhas in the sky. They're coming down to attack people, and I just think it looks really cool. Now, it's a little blurry, but you can kind of make it out. I had to take these in motion, so yeah. And then the next image is basically of a pterodon, just kind of swooping down. It's just a nice shot of them and how they'll look, so I really like it. And then, unfortunately for this girl, she gets picked up, and she gets carried away, yeah. But again, the CGI actually looks surprisingly good, and I really like the way it looks, how it looks fluid. Now, I like this close-up shot. I thought they would do more outward shots for this kind of thing. But I bet they're going to do it like where they don't actually follow the girl. They're just going to do it where you just see it fade off and, you know, into the distance more and more, unfortunately. I really like it when it gets a little darker, though. But anyways, so we're nearing the end, and you can, this is when the two kids strain off the track, you know, when the dinosaurs break loose from the gyrosphere, and we can see the D-Rex's head right there. So yeah. Kids are all like, are we safe? And then apparently not. And this is before the D-Rex breaks through the glass. Yeah, it looks really cool. The hand is huge again. And then the D-Rex breaks through the glass. Yeah. Kind of looks like the raptor toe claw, though. You know, it's interesting. I just like the way... I like what ease it does, like, to break the glass. But, yeah, and these are the kids screaming. So, basically guaranteed death. Yeah. And the older kid really has a funny face. But, yeah. So that's basically it, though, you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, give a big thumbs up into this video. I'll leave a link down in the description below to go watch the trailer yourself. It's really good. I really recommend watching it. It's a really good Super Bowl trailer. I really like it. But as I said, yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching again, and Godzilla 5500 out.